If you still look pregnant months or even years after having a baby, do not assume it's fat. I ignored this for 8 years in the belief that being black would protect me from having weak pelvic and core muscles, and I was wrong. I was wrong. And I'm here to tell you differently because I want you to do differently. I'm going to share with you what I wish someone had told me in a way that I would have heard when I had my first baby. I'm Remy, I'm an obstetrics and gynecology doctor and a mother of 2. At the time of my first baby, I heard of the term diastasis recti, but the first time I'd heard of it, bearing in mind I was a doctor, I was an obstetrician, was within the antenatal group of friends that I'd made. In my group, I was the only black woman. The women were slightly older, so in their late 30s, early 40s. And after delivery, they were going on about exercising the core to bring these muscles back together. And I was just like, I don't think that's my problem. And 8 years later, I'm here to tell you that I was wrong. It in fact was my problem. And I want to encourage you to not only understand what diastasis recti is, why you need to take it seriously and why you need to do something about it. Diastasis recti affects about 6 in 10 women, so it's quite a lot. And a decent proportion of those women won't necessarily need to do anything for it to go back to normal, and some will. But what it is that you have your abs muscle, so the historic six-pack, and when you're pregnant, the pregnant belly is stretching those muscles and the connecting part within it is also stretching. And so after pregnancy, it's like an elastic band. It could go back together, so just like snap back together, or it needs exercise and therapy to retract and go back to that taut thing that it was before. And obviously, the more you stretch it, like any rubber band, the stretchier it becomes. And so you might be thinking, okay, what's the big deal? The problem is that lots of women miss it because you don't necessarily have pain from it. So then it gets ignored. But it can have some long-standing complications, which I'll go into in this video. And so what this means after time is when you've got this gap in the tummy, that your abdominal muscles are not necessarily holding in the tummy organs as much, and then that's what looks like you have a pregnant belly. So someone who has had a baby, like me, and you have lost a lot of the pregnancy weight, but your tummy's just there, just pouching, and you wear clothes and you don't necessarily feel comfortable because your tummy has just not gone back to what it was. But there's this concept that after having a baby, there's very little that you can do to make it flat. So I have a video on belly binding, and the benefits thought to be of the belly binding is that it will bring those abdominal muscles together. And that's not necessarily true. What belly binding does is it does correct your posture, but it doesn't encourage you to engage your core because it's holding you up. So sometimes it can be counterproductive. And I do discuss that in that video. Like I mentioned before, that if you completely ignore it, that there are some complications that can arise. So the ones that are directly linked to the tummy muscles is if you think that those 2 strips are running along the middle and holding back your organs, when there's a gap, it puts you at risk of having a hernia. So a hernia is like an outpouching from the abdominal muscles. And you often see it sometimes in babies where they have the outpouching near the belly button. And the risk of that is as you age, that the organs can get in there and get trapped and cut off their own blood supply. So it's not unheard of that people will need surgery to correct that. And so that's the more common thing. And you might go years without noticing that you have it. And then you now start seeing an outpouching. So the way to see if you have one is just to see, is there space between those muscles? The cutoff is about 2 centimeters or 2 to 3 finger widths in size. And lying down, you could tilt your tummy up, put your fingers in and see if it's there. If you suspect that you have one after doing that, it's to then go to a clinician, a physiotherapist, and for them to examine you and be able to tell you the extent of the gap in the muscles. And so the whole point then of therapy to bring the muscles slightly closer together. If it's so severe and the conservative measures haven't worked, then surgery is an option and it's something that you would have to discuss with your doctor. So evidence shows that there's no specific exercise therapy that's better than any other. But what you want to do is at least start with someone who's aware of the condition, a physiotherapist, a women's health PT, someone who's done training around the core and the abdomen, and they can help assist you in doing the right exercises to put your tummy muscles back together. And so what I wish I had done 8 years ago was engage in that. So what I've noticed most recently and why it's bugged me more recently is I started working out and I was doing ab workouts and I would see this outpouching through the middle of my tummy. And I was like, oh, where did that come from? And that was obviously what I had ignored 8 years ago. I then subsequently had a baby 4 years later. and still did nothing about it. So it's really important that we're thinking about our long-term health after we've had babies. So I mentioned umbilical hernia being the more common complication, but actually if you think about the tummy muscles being connected to the pelvic floor and also to the back, and if there's weakness in one area, it will affect the whole part. Posture, back pain. There's been suggested links to pelvic floor weakness and urine incontinence and pain and discomfort during sex, because it really does provide you with a hammock from front to back. And if the front is weak, you can anticipate how the others might not be as strong as they need to be, or may compensate for the weakness in other ways. And this is what I wish I was told, that they actually, when we look at longevity for women who've had babies, that yes, we know that there are things like high blood pressure, diabetes that can show up in pregnancy that can affect your lifelong health. But actually, it's like the pelvic floor can affect you in your 50s, 60s, 70s and affect your quality of life at that stage. And even your abdominal muscles as well will be linked to that. I really want to stress that whatever conceptions you have about your ethnicity, your muscle mass, all of that, pregnancy can humble you. It really can humble you. So you need to take it seriously and engage in things that can help prevent longer term weakness or function. And this isn't a video about bouncing back or outer appearance, although I do think when you're used to dressing a certain way before a baby and you then struggle to get into your clothes after baby, I do think those types of things affect your identity and it affects how you view yourself. So there's an element of engaging in things to make you feel like more of yourself, but not just things that one can see. So it's easy to lose weight after having a baby, but not fix the pelvic floor, not fix your core muscles. And that's doing more harm than good. I think what's more important is that you fix things that have function before you fix things that affect your appearance. I say this because I think identity post-motherhood is really important. And I discussed that in a video on matrescence that I did not too long ago. So go and have a watch. This channel is for women who are pregnant and postpartum. And how can I give you information that improves your experience within this season of life and how that affects you physically, mentally, and socially? And how can we influence the systems that operate around us in this season too? So if that's your bag, subscribe to this channel. Share this video with someone who needs to hear that this thing is real and it can affect us too. And drop a comment down below. If you've had diastasis recti, how long did it take for it to be fixed? And did it ever come back to normal? So I'm going to start my journey on repairing my diastasis recti soon, and I will share with you in another video.